Imagine spending years of hard work and millions of dollars to build something incredible, only to see it all come crashing down. From towering skyscrapers to massive bridges, even the most amazing structures can fail in ways that leave us speechless. Today, we'll explore the biggest construction disasters in history, moments when mistakes, bad luck, or oversights turned dreams into nightmares. 1. The Leaning Tower of Pisa. The Leaning Tower of Pisa is a world-famous landmark, but did you know it wasn't supposed to lean? When construction began in 1173, the plan was to build a straight bell tower for the Pisa Cathedral. But as soon as the builders reached the third floor, the soil beneath the tower started to sink. The foundation was too shallow and couldn't support the weight of the massive structure. Wars and political problems delayed construction for nearly 100 years, which actually helped. The soil had time to settle, preventing the tower from collapsing completely. Engineers have since worked hard to stabilize it, and today, its tilt is what makes it so special. A mistake turned into a global icon. 2. The Lotus Riverside Collapse. In 2009, residents of the Lotus Riverside complex in Shanghai woke up to something shocking. An entire 13-story building had fallen over like a domino. What went wrong? During construction, workers removed a huge amount of soil to build an underground garage. This made the ground too weak to hold up the building, especially after heavy rains. The foundation gave way, and the building toppled over. Luckily, no one was inside at the time, but this disaster became a huge lesson about the dangers of cutting corners in construction. 3. The Hyatt Regency Walkway Collapse. The Hyatt Regency Hotel in Kansas City was known for its beautiful suspended walkways. But on July 17, 1981, tragedy struck. During a dance event, the walkways suddenly collapsed, killing 114 people and injuring more than 200. The cause? A tiny change in the design. Instead of using one set of rods to hold both walkways, builders used two separate sets, doubling the load on certain parts. Those parts couldn't handle the weight, and the walkways came crashing down. 4. The Aquadome Aquarium burst. The Aquadome in Berlin was the largest cylindrical aquarium in the world, holding 1,500 tropical fish. But in December 2022, disaster struck. The giant acrylic tank suddenly burst, flooding the hotel and streets with millions of liters of water. What happened? Over time, tiny cracks formed in the tank's walls. These cracks, combined with temperature changes and the pressure of all that water, caused the tank to fail. Hundreds of fish died, and the damage cost millions of dollars to fix. It was a sad reminder of how even the most impressive designs have limits. 5. The Vasa ship disaster. In 1628, Sweden launched the Vasa, a grand warship meant to show off its naval power. But just 1,300 meters into its first journey, the ship tilted and sank. Why? The ship was top-heavy, with too many cannons on the upper decks and not enough weight at the bottom to balance it. A simple gust of wind was enough to tip it over. For over 300 years, the Vasa remained underwater until it was recovered in 1961. Today, it's displayed in a museum, a symbol of how ignoring basic engineering principles can lead to disaster. 6. The Teton Dam Collapse. The Teton Dam in Idaho was built to control floods and provide water for farming. But in 1976, just as the reservoir filled up, the dam burst. The flood destroyed entire towns, killed 11 people, and caused billions of dollars in damage. The problem? The dam's walls were made of porous rock, which allowed water to seep through. This weakened the structure until it couldn't hold the pressure anymore. It was a harsh lesson about the importance of proper materials and testing in construction. 7. The Sampoong Department Store Collapse. In 1995, the Sampoong department store in South Korea collapsed, killing over 500 people. The building was originally designed as an office space, but midway through construction, it was changed into a department store. To make room for escalators, builders removed important support columns. They also added heavy air conditioning units on the roof. Cracks appeared months before the collapse, but they were ignored. On the fateful day, the building couldn't hold its own weight anymore and came crashing down. This tragedy became a warning about the dangers of ignoring safety for profit. 8. 9. Hard Rock Hotel Collapse, a costly mistake. The Hard Rock Hotel in New Orleans was supposed to be a glamorous addition to the skyline. But in 2019, parts of the building collapsed just before completion, killing 3 workers. The cause? Thinner steel beams were used to save money, but they couldn't support the building's weight. It's a sad reminder that cutting corners can lead to heartbreak and loss. 10. Walkie-talkie building, the skyscraper. Imagine walking down the street and suddenly feeling like you're being cooked by the sun. That's what happened in London when the walkie-talkie building reflected sunlight so intensely that it melted cars and scorched the streets. It was like holding a magnifying glass to the ground. Eventually, the building's designers added sunshades to fix the problem, but it was a bizarre and unexpected consequence of architectural design. Tacoma Narrows Bridge, Galloping Gertie. In 1940, a sleek new bridge opened in Washington state. But just 4 months later, strong winds caused the bridge to twist and sway wildly, earning it the nickname Galloping Gertie. The bridge eventually collapsed into the river below. Why? Engineers underestimated the effects of wind on the lightweight structure. This disaster revolutionized bridge design and taught engineers to consider aerodynamics. 12. Aon Center, the marble that fell apart. The Aon Center in Chicago was supposed to shine with Italian marble. But within a year, the marble began cracking and falling off the building, with pieces weighing hundreds of pounds. Why? Chicago's extreme weather caused the marble to expand and contract, making it weak. Fixing this problem cost $80 million, half the building's original price. 13. Sydney Opera House, a dream that became a nightmare. The Sydney Opera House is one of the most iconic buildings in the world today, but its construction was anything but smooth. It took 14 years to build instead of 4 and went way over budget, costing 1,300% more than planned. The unique design of its sail-like roof was a huge engineering challenge, and even when it was finished, the sound quality inside was terrible. It's a story of persistence, innovation, and overcoming the odds. 15. Rana Plaza disaster, a fatal shortcut. In 2013, a building in Bangladesh housing garment factories collapsed, killing over 1,100 workers. The building wasn't designed to handle heavy machinery, and extra floors had been added illegally. Cracks in the walls were seen the day before, but workers were still forced to enter. This tragedy sparked global changes in factory safety regulations, but it came at a heartbreaking cost. 16. Champlain Tower South, a community's loss. In 2021, a 12-story condo in Florida collapsed, killing 98 people. Years of water damage, poor maintenance, and a weak foundation on unstable land led to the disaster. Despite early warnings, repairs weren't made in time. This heartbreaking story reminds us how important regular maintenance and safety checks are, especially for aging buildings. These stories show us that even the most magnificent creations can have hidden flaws. They remind us that safety, planning, and attention to detail are just as important as ambition and creativity. Which of these stories shocked you the most? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed today's episode of Life Beyond Earth, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories that explore the wonders and lessons of our world.